Hi, I'm Ken, and you're about to discover the real culprit keeping you fatter than you want to be. And here's a hint. It's in this picture, and it's not the cow. This so-called health food is actually the #1 worst food to eat if you want to lose weight, especially if you want to lose fat. Because if you eat these foods, your body releases a torrent of bad hormones. Hormones that convert the food you eat into pure fat. Hormones that inflict cellular trauma and eventually lead to serious illness, even death. You'll also learn the real key to finally sculpting the body you desire. Watch this presentation all the way to the end, and you'll also find out why eating more of your favorite foods and spending way less time working out will actually get you better results, faster. Results you'll see in the mirror, feel in your waistline, and hear from your friends as they beg you, "Tell me your secret." Plus, I'll reveal specific foods which trigger your body to release a flood of fat-melting hormones, hormones that chemically break down fat, literally dissolving years of stubborn fatty deposits from your body at a cellular level to burn them up as fuel. These same hormones restore youthful energy levels, reverse aging, and bottom line, they create strong, healthy humans by unlocking your body's dormant genetics, which I'll explain later. Best of all, you're not required to take any dangerous pills, go on a starvation diet, or do anything that's unhealthy or extreme. By the end, you'll see exactly how to make your weight loss easy, automatic, and permanent by breaking most of the weight loss wisdom you've been taught since childhood. The rules that turned America into the fattest nation in the world. So pay attention because, well, look, you need to hear this because if you eat these types of foods and get everything else right, you'll still never lose fat. But the worst part is they're a threat to your life. So listen, you need to watch this now because I don't know how long I'll leave all these valuable tips up for free. And if you think you've seen it all, heard it all, and tried it all to lose weight, I guarantee you've never seen anything like this before. I promise you'll be pleasantly surprised when you see just how easy it is to follow these tips to a thinner, fitter you. One tip in particular will completely astonish you. These are the exact tricks that I used to personally lose 31 pounds of pure fat from my midsection. Then I shared them with my mom, dad, and brother, and they lost a total of 164 pounds between the three of them. More on that later. Now remember, I'm about to share exactly how to strip away all those ugly pounds of fat faster than you ever imagined possible, and even more little-known tips for dropping fat by eating more and working out less. First, though, I'm going to share a story with you that's very difficult to relive. You'll see why in a moment. So do me a favor. If you aren't serious about losing weight, stop watching now. This is just too painful for me to share with people who can't relate. People who've never struggled with their weight or felt powerless and out of control because of it. However, if you are serious about losing weight, then I want you to keep watching. Deal? Now look, I wasn't always the guy everyone turns to when they finally get sick of failing and get serious about losing weight. And I certainly wasn't always a best-selling fitness expert or the kind of guy who'd be featured in all these major media outlets. In fact, most of my life I was the exact opposite of who you'd turn to for any kind of health advice. Because when it came to being healthy, I was a train wreck. It began in 2002 when my wife Jean and I lost a child. I began to eat for emotional comfort, to ease my pain, which only left me feeling bloated, disgusting, and like I was less than a man. Sure, on the outside I would smile, but the more overweight I got, the more my life just spun out of control. I fell into a depression so bad I was fired after 7 years of all-star performance at Microsoft. I couldn't pull myself off the couch, and no amount of pills helped. And the binge eating was really starting to take its toll. Yet, I turned to food more and more, sinking deeper into despair. It got so bad my business partner of several years was forced to fire me, and who could blame him? I had lost all self-respect, motivation, and hope. Replacing them with pounds of disgusting lard, a growing self-hatred, and the belief that I deserved to be miserable. My lifestyle choices were so bad that I actually ate my way to diabetes. And no amount of pills could overcome the impact my bad eating habits and complete lack of exercise had on my health. Without any income, I lost our dream home to foreclosure and our cars to repossession. I hated myself, and I took it out on everyone around me. And when my wife couldn't take it anymore, she packed up her bags, took our 4 remaining children 2 states away, and filed for divorce. I have to say, I don't blame her a bit. You might say that this was a pretty dark time in my life, and at this point, I thought things couldn't possibly get worse. But I was wrong. They were about to, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. And perhaps you can even relate to the hopeless feeling, and you know that you need to change too. Now, for me, it took a very painful experience. It was a Friday afternoon in the spring of 2011 in Murphy, Texas. Outside it was beautiful, sunny, a few clouds, around 80 degrees with a nice Texas breeze. The kind of day I loved spending outside with my kids, enjoying the warm breeze as it gently carried the delicate fragrance of the bright Texas wildflowers. Outside the world was coming to life, yet I was alone, inside my empty apartment, dying, watching the day and my life pass me by through hollow glass, locked in a prison of my own making, where no echoes remained of the laughter that once filled the halls of a home. I had lost everything, and I knew that it all came down to one thing. I felt like a big, fat waste of space. I was buried in work, doing my best to dig my way out of a financial nightmare. It felt like I was working inside of a pressure cooker because all of my clients needed all of their work done right now. And here I was, just one guy, alone. Sitting at my desk, the waistband in my size 38 shorts was stretched to the max, and it was digging into my skin because, well, I refused to go buy the size 42 shorts I should have been wearing. I remember how it pressed my gut up so that it was hard to take a deep breath. And I was afraid to take the weekend off because I felt like my clients would kill me. But I had to take the weekend off because it was my one chance to spend time with my kids all week, so I couldn't skip that. I felt I had failed at everything else, but I was determined not to fail as a dad. So I was hoping to squeeze in a couple of movies, maybe some video games with the kids, and basically just veg out on the couch, eating candy, drinking soda, and pigging out, our usual weekend visitation routine. As I sat there, with my mind racing, I felt my phone vibrate. So I pulled it out and saw that my son had just sent me a text. At last, a glimmer of hope in my dark little world. A small smile spread across my face as I thought, he's just as excited to see me as I am to see him. Maybe he texted about a movie he wants to watch or a snack he wants me to grab. Or maybe even just a text to say he loves me and can't wait to see me. Instead, what I saw flooded my last refuge of hope. It broke my heart, and ultimately, it set me free. His words pierced me like a knife through my heart and opened my eyes to just how bad my weight problem had become. Remember how I said I wanted to be a good dad? Well, my son's text said, "Hey Dad, what do I have to do to lose weight? 'Cause I don't want to end up like you." My little boy, who I bounced on my knee, who copied everything I did because he wanted to be just like me, didn't want to be like me anymore. In fact, he wanted to be the opposite of me. I don't think I had ever felt lower. I had failed at the one thing I swore I never would. I had failed my son. I was a bad father. My son did not want to grow up to be like me. And I imagined the worst. My ex meeting a new man who was strong and fit, everything a young man like my son would want to grow up to be. This would expose just how weak and pitiful I really was. I could see my son and his mom sitting in the car talking about me, about what a bad role model I had become, about how he should be nothing like me. And the worst part was, they were right. I had taught my son to be fat and unhealthy, and he saw the writing on the wall. If he followed in my footsteps, he would wind up where I was. Now, I realize that this may not have all been true, but this is how I was feeling at the time. I was so disappointed in myself, angry that I had let my life sink so far. I pushed back from my desk and took a deep breath. Suddenly, work didn't matter. Money didn't matter. Even my ex didn't matter. None of it mattered. This was going to be about my son. And the one burning question that remained, would I really do anything for my son? Or was I too weak and pitiful to even put up a fight? My son wanted to be someone other than me, and right then and there, I wanted to be someone else too. In that moment, driven to the breaking point, I swore an oath. I would change my life. I would take control of my health, and I would lose my huge gut and become the man my son needed me to be. And I was going to do it even if it killed me. Now, I had already been on the yo-yo diet cycle for almost 2 years trying to control my weight, so I knew I had to do something unusual if I was going to lose this weight. And I was determined to find out what it was, even if I had to read every medical research paper ever published, buy every book on weight loss, or travel to a distant land to get answers from a guru at the top of a mountain. So I set out like a mad scientist, digging through medical research, profiling strong, healthy humans, and devouring anything I could get my hands on that I thought might provide me with a clue to changing my body. And I found the answer in the most unexpected of places, in a book about cavemen. Now, when I saw this book, a crazy little thought went through my head that sent me down the path to discovering what it really takes to trigger rapid, safe, and permanent weight loss. I'll tell you what that thought was in a minute and why it holds the key to finally sculpting the body you desire. So keep watching. And remember, despite my success today, I'm no different than you. I'm just a guy who stumbled onto a system that always works. A system that forces your body to melt fat for fuel. And when that happens, you can't help but expose the strong body that's been hiding under your flab. This is a system that lets people like us turn on our fat-fighting hormones so that we lose weight quickly, have more energy, and feel greater confidence throughout the day. This is the system that I use to personally lose 31 pounds. And it's the system that I'll be sharing with you so you can finally experience permanent weight loss too. I'll share all the specific details about it in just a few minutes, but first I need to tell you about the single biggest problem we face in a post-industrial revolution world when we decide we want to lose weight. This is the real secret reason that you pack on the pounds to begin with, yet most people have no idea it's not their fault. Many people believe that they have to take some kind of pill to lose weight, starve themselves, or avoid their favorite foods. The real problem, though, is that you've been lied to for years. And those lies are keeping you from the body you desire and deserve. One of the lies you've probably believed is that you can't eat your favorite foods, or that you have to exercise for hours each week to see any results, and that's not even close to the truth. If you're one of the millions who fell victim to these lies, then you must decide right now to believe the truth instead, because if you don't, you'll continue to suffer needlessly, grow weary trying to keep up with the extreme diets and workouts until eventually, no matter how strong you are, you'll give up. It may be in a moment of weakness at the grocery store or a quick trip through the drive-through window because you're running late and missed a meal. But whatever it is, and whenever it is, it spells the end of your latest diet and the beginning of your weight climbing a few pounds higher than ever before. Why? Because no human alive can resist the temptation to enjoy their favorite things for the rest of their lives. And I'll tell you why in just a sec. Listen, this is not what I want for you, and I know this is not what you want for yourself. Yet, this is the reason you struggle to lose weight. It's not your fault. If you want to blame something, blame capitalism. Weight management is a $650 billion a year industry. That's big business, and big businesses are run by corporate executives and boards of directors who have a fiduciary responsibility to produce the maximum amount of profit they can for their shareholders who own the company. This means that they can literally go to jail if they neglect that specific duty. And if they ever tell you the truth about how to permanently lose weight without any special equipment, pills, or magic powders, then you'll never buy from them again because you don't need to. And that does not produce the greatest amount of profit possible for their shareholders. So they tell you half-truths, provide disinformation, and spend billions on propaganda campaigns that keep us fat and unhealthy. This way, we feel like we have to buy every new gadget they release. The truth is, the key to eliminating fat from your body lies in controlling your hormones by using specific foods at specific times and limiting your exercise. This triggers your body to release a flood of hormones that chemically dissolve fat to be burned as fuel. Now that you know the problem, let's dive into the details. What you're about to see and hear are the exact tips thousands have used to overcome their weight challenges once and for all. And the most important tip for creating a strong, sexy body is getting more rest. And I know that goes against all conventional wisdom, yet you absolutely must do this if you really want to sculpt the lean, toned body you desire. The reason this works to help you lose weight is because of a scientific principle used exclusively in Paleo burn called the Paleo Lifestyle Pattern Response, which releases a specific hormone that restores the body of your youth. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. First, let me tell you about the so-called health foods you should only eat if you want to get as fat as a cow. That's because the food I'm talking about is great food for a cow, and you should avoid it at all costs if you ever want to lose weight. Seriously, food manufacturers have done their best to position this as health food for humans. However, the truth is that you must avoid this food at all costs to lose weight. Here's why. It's a well-documented medical fact that when insulin levels are high, your body stores fat. And it's just as well proven that when insulin levels are low, your body burns fat for fuel. Eating this particular food group instantly spikes your insulin levels through the roof, causing your body to grow fatter with every bite. But if you avoid insulin boosting foods, your body will maintain low insulin levels and you'll naturally melt your fat away and eliminate dips in your energy levels so that you're less tired. Now, despite all the medical research showing these facts and the fact that our population has grown fatter and fatter ever since this food became a major staple in the modern diet, which was after the Industrial Revolution, the U.S. government still teaches Americans that this food group is the foundation of a healthy diet. I'm talking about grains. Yes, even the whole grain health food you hear about everywhere you turn. But the truth is, grains are not human food. They're cattle food. Because in humans, they trigger a spike in insulin and an increase in body fat percentages. That's why I showed you a picture of a cow eating grains earlier. Remember? In cattle, grains produce muscle growth, meaning that we can get more lean meat from each animal for food. In fact, cereals is a very common type of grain and are actually a kind of grass. And I think you already know that our stomachs were not built for eating grass. Yet since the Industrial Revolution, when we started mass producing our food, cereals and other grains have become a staple of the modern diet, and the results are obvious: a population that is growing morbidly obese. The reason why? Our bodies are not designed to eat grains. It spikes our insulin instantly, turning food into fat. So unless you're a cow or you want to become one, then you must avoid grains at all costs to keep your insulin levels low and your body burning fat for fuel. It's really easy to replace them with other carbohydrates that are great for weight loss. I'll tell you how you can get a list of those energy boosting carbs in just a second. And when you remove these from your diet, you'll begin to see a difference in the mirror as your body shape changes and the pounds melt away. You'll also avoid diseases like diabetes, which are caused by keeping your insulin levels too high for too long, and you'll keep your energy levels high. Imagine what that will feel like for a moment. First, within a week from right now, you could feel your energy levels soaring and the dips disappearing. Less than a month from now, you look in the mirror and see a major difference, and you love all the compliments you're getting. That's what happens when you start controlling your hormones. And if you really want to take your results to the next level, here's how. If you do what I'm about to share with you, your body is going to release human growth hormone. The hormone responsible for growing lean muscle, restoring youthful vigor, and repairing damage done by living in a world filled with toxins. As your body releases this hormone, your metabolism picks up so you burn more calories each day, making it that much easier to keep the weight off once you've lost it. And that's all great, but the real reason you're going to love what I'm about to share is that it means you'll spend more time resting and relaxing, especially getting more sleep. Almost all workout programs you see today have you slaving away like a madman in the gym for hours every day, sometimes spending 10 or more hours per week just on exercise, and that doesn't take into account the time you spend doing other things that are actually healthy for you. First off, all that time isn't necessary for great results. But second, and just as important, nobody has that much time to spend working out. Is it any wonder we feel hopeless about our weight sometimes? We're already running around with our hair on fire, stressed out because we have jobs, lives, and families to attend to, and now they tell us that we've got to work out for 10 hours a week? Are they serious? Here's the real problem, though, and the reason why you must avoid this kind of activity at all costs. All that stress, combined with the lack of downtime, does two things that sabotage your weight loss efforts completely. First, the stress of trying to maintain an overloaded schedule causes your body to start dumping a flood of cortisol like opening a fire hydrant full blast. Now, cortisol not only causes cellular damage, but has been directly linked by medical science to growing a big fat belly. In fact, cortisol is actually known as the belly fat hormone, and it gets worse. All that running around without any rest and recovery causes your body to stop producing HGH, the hormone that is known as the fountain of youth. And the very best way to hop off this crazy merry-go-round is to refuse to work out like they tell you to. And you absolutely must start getting the right amount of sleep at the right times, probably more than you're getting now, and waking up at the right time. When you do, your body will shut off the cortisol valve and start dumping loads of HGH into your body, restoring youth, energy, and health to your body while also increasing your metabolism for fast, permanent weight loss. Remember how good you feel right after a good night's rest? knowing that it will help you lose weight and get healthy? Now, picture feeling that way every day, all day long, because you've triggered your body to release a flood of healthy hormones while keeping the bad hormones at bay. That can be your reality by this time next week if you keep watching. Now, here's the most important weight loss tip of all. If you do this wrong, all the other tips will be worthless. It's what I told you about earlier. When you do this, your body will become leaner, stronger, and younger. You'll lose weight effortlessly and marvel that it was ever hard in the first place. And that's the real reason you want to do this, because if you do, weight loss will not be a challenge anymore. What I'm talking about is triggering your body to release a surge of hormones that chemically dissolves fat to be burned as fuel. To do that, you want to exercise for very short periods of time, using specific exercises at just the right level of intensity. Too much and you'll stop making progress. Too little and you'll never get results to begin with. The reason why this works is because it mimics the kinds of activities our ancient ancestors, the cavemen and the cavewoman, followed. Now remember that crazy thought I mentioned earlier from when I saw that caveman book? Well, that one weird little thought was this: there were no fat cavemen. The bodies of these men and women were lean and hard, sculpted and toned to athletic perfection, just as beautiful to look at as they were good for fleeing from a saber-toothed tiger. And embedded somewhere in every human being's DNA is the primordial code for developing that kind of a body. And when you exercise the same way these primal humans exercised, now they called it fleeing, your body reawakens that ancient DNA by releasing and restraining hormones just the way it has for millions of years dating back to caveman times. Think of it as waking up your inner...
Click the link right below this video to get started. And remember, if you decide at any point within the 60 days that this isn't right for you, I'll send you a full refund, no problem. You'll just have my sincere thanks for at least giving it a try. So click the link below, and I'll see you on the other side.